Had a rough night last night. Imbibed in too much caffeine, doing a little bit too much work and not paying attention to the clock. So yeah, jumping into the Ultra to give us a little extra push today.
That's good, man. That's good. I, on the other hand, slept like a baby. Man, I got enough sleep for both of us.
All right. Lead the way. Where do we want to go today? What are we thinking?
Good question, man. This is the Main Responder Podcast. Real conversations about work, the pressure, and the lives shaped by service. There's no single lane here, no script, just honest talk. Let's get into it. Yesterday, there was something called a ghost drop. And if you're not familiar with what that is, then you're just not a bourbon drinker. As we know, I love a good cigar. I love a good bourbon. It's kind of a hobby. I wouldn't say I'm a bourbon collector, but I like to try bourbons, and it's fun. So this ghost drop thing, the liquor store in New Hampshire puts out an email, and basically they say, hey, there's all these tough to get bottles. And these bottles, if they were on the secondary market, let's say, they raise the price on these things because they're hard to get. So this allocation of bourbon bottles, they come out, they say ghost drop the day of, and bourbon drinkers, collectors will drop everything that they're doing to go out and get these bottles of bourbon. And so I call my wife and I'm like, what are you doing right now? Is there any chance you can make it to the liquor store, and I'll tell you what to do from there? And you know what? She's a saint. She was able to go for me.
She was down with a secret squirrel operation.
She was right into it, which was awesome. And here's the thing. These ghost drops, man, they are like the Black Friday sales, but for like middle-aged men. This is where we actually will line up. We'll complain if we're at Disney. We'll complain. We ain't going to do anything for Black Friday, but you put out 6 bottles of bourbon and there'll be 150 guys at 9 a.m. lined up.
Game on.
Yeah, just to see if they can get their hands on one of the 6 bottles. So my buddy texted me, I think it was about 9:30, 9:45. By the time I kind of checked my phone, it was in 10 o'clock or whatever at that point. Maybe she made it there by 10:30, give or take. And I'm like, look, you're probably going to waste your time, so I'm sorry, whatever. But turns out she got there, and she was able to get me a few decent bottles. Some that I've, wanted to add to the collection. And so I forget where I was going with it.
Sleep? Do you have any issues? Did you have? Oh, yeah. So here's the question.
Yeah.
Trying to do the straight and narrow and making good decisions.
Yes, sir.
So we get this hallelujah Black Friday sale event. The Secret Squirrel Society has sent out the text message that will self-destruct in 30 seconds upon reading. Mm-hmm. Boom, here it is. Did you imbibe?
So we were able to get 6 bottles. That was the amount of bottles that we were allowed to get, and a couple for a friend. You got to kind of share the wealth. But yes, last night I had about an ounce and a half, a measured ounce and a half. And that was it. So it didn't affect my sleep. I had it early enough. I just wanted to try it. It was good. Felt good to have a little sip of something to make me warm. But one of the things, Becca was telling me when she went there, the guys are looking for the Blanton's bottle.
The toppers.
The toppers. So they're cracking bottles open to take a look at the letters. She was trying to wrap her head around the madness. And as she was leaving, she said, there is a madhouse rush coming in. And the parking lot was full. And she said, by then, there was enough people that it was really getting low. Some of the bottles were already running low. The one I was after was gone already, but by the time she had gotten there. Yes, that's exactly where I was going with it. I had a little taste, and I still felt like I slept good, stepped on the scale today, didn't seem to impact me at all. Kind of a way to tie in bourbon into sleep, which I don't know. I wanted to tie in bourbon somehow. Sleep is, I never really thought about it much. Through the wellness journey is where I started thinking about it more. Was it Nas? who said sleep is the cousin of death. I kind of always live by that. I don't need to sleep.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
You only live once. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
I still have that a little bit.
Sure.
And so I struggle. Sadly now it's like the fight against the phone. Maybe I got to bed at the right times. I'm in bed at 8:30 even, let's say, but then I'm just scrolling, dude, or reading a book, whatever it is. It's just not what you should be doing. But it seems like the common denominator for everything is sleep and rest, working out, hitting the gym, whatever. Like, you're not going to grow, if you're right. Unless you're getting, the proper amount of rest. And I've never really considered that. Like, you consider, hey, I need to up my weights. Hey, I need to, lower my calories. Sleep, I never thought to give a shit about, but now, and maybe it's just because our age, like where we are in life, I care about it more. I think about a nap. I can't. I'm not a napper. Are you a napper at all?
I am a napper.
Oh, I can't.
I love to take naps. Absolutely. And that's where I do succeed in that aspect of napping and getting sleep in. But I really do believe it's the nighttime where you get the big win for the body. The nap is just a quick little hit. I mean, sometimes I'll go 8 to 12 minutes for a nap. I'll set my timer.
Yep.
And that's just like a shot of caffeine for me, a quick little boost. That's all I need to make the rest of the day that much better.
Yeah. Let's bring this into the profession a little bit. I've always had this thought, especially small agencies, officers are falling asleep. I don't think it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Especially if you have a one-person department, one person that's out there. The midnight shift, the overnight shift is near impossible to work, to maintain a normal level of lifestyle. It's so up and down. Something's got to give. Somewhere in the middle of the wellness journey and trying to learn, I heard about the policy of restorative rest.
Yeah.
It was a real eye-opener. We can have permission to take a nap in the middle of shift with certain guidelines, certain parameters. In the military, we certainly remember one up, one down, right? But you had two people in the car. That makes sense. Hey, want to swap out? You need to close your eyes for a little bit. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, we've all hit that point on the midnight shift where, because you're balancing a lot. You're trying to balance life. You're asking, so as a police department, you're asking an individual officer, a group of officers to literally flip their life upside down and go against the natural rhythm. We want you awake during the day, and when you're home with your family and they're awake, going to school, going to softball, going to soccer, going to dance, you're asleep, or you're getting into the stimulants that keep you awake during that time and say, all right, I need to see this. I need to go to this. I need to be there and support my family. I'm going to give myself a little boost with caffeine, nicotine, whatever it may be. And I'm going to be present for that. I'll catch up on sleep. I'll sleep 2 hours before I have to go to work and I'll be okay.
Right.
When are you ever okay after that?
Right.
And it does come down to that restorative sleep. I think that practice is huge.
Yeah.
Being able to acknowledge that and honor that and have the ability to do that is a big step, because it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. It's just a matter of managing it. And I feel like giving people permission actually makes it less likely that they're going to sleep. In my thought on it.
I think it's a great policy potentially. I also think that where we are, we're sadly late to the game. A lot of other places, I point to the West Coast where listen, there's a lot of weird things that happen out West.
Yeah.
Right. And they wouldn't really fit, here in the Northeast. But I've often looked at their wellness stuff and it just is truly ahead of its time. I went to a wellness retreat in California and I'll tell you what, man, it was a game changer for me. And I won't get into it now, but I think it's worthy of a conversation down the road because I think people need to try it. step out of your comfort zone and try it. I had a conversation with a chief yesterday, and he was explaining to me that he just realized that wellness is kind of important, and he's letting his officers work out on duty and doing wellness visits. And I'm like, wow, like, good for you. Good for you. I wanted to be like, bro, we've been doing that for years now.
Right.
But instead of being a jerk, because I'm like a little show off, little punk, I decided to be like, good job. And I did feel that for him. It was like, way to get on board. It was good. It was refreshing. Like, they're starting.
That's pretty cool.
So I think it's going to catch on. And that's not to say, like, for us, I think there's a lot of talk and a lot of posturing around wellness. I know people still think wellness is freaking stupid. I actually get annoyed with wellness at times. There are times where I'm like, okay, enough already. We can't use it as a crutch, use it as an excuse. I mean, I think I've talked about that before, but there are some great policies out there. And I hate to say policies because I think it should be culture first, but there are great things that agencies are doing in other places, and restorative rest is absolutely one of them. And as as small departments start to grow, I think that's something, work out on duty. And you know what? If you're working out on the midnight shift, you might not need to use the restorative rest. You're exactly what you're saying. Like, I'm a dad. If I'm on the midnight shift, I know that I want to go coach softball. I want to be there. I just got back from bringing my daughter, home from dance. I bet you a lot of dads want to do that stuff, but then they got to be to work in a couple of hours. So it's just a different schedule. It's different life. Midnight shift people still have errands, still have stuff that need to be done during business hours. So you need to look at it in a different way. And for fuck's sake, if in 2026 we're not looking at this in a different way, then shame on us. And no wonder a lot of people don't even want to do the job. A lot of people now are just having that dream when they're little. I want to be a firefighter, or I want to be a cop, but they're not following through when they get smart enough to know, well, hell no, I don't want to work. I don't want to spend 6 years on mids, so we've got to start thinking about these things. It's long overdue. Come on. Like, let's fucking go already. Let's change. This needs to change. But I guess if we're sticking on sleep because sleep is freaking important, then so be it. It's a good conversation. I mean, I didn't know really where we were going to go at first, but I'm glad glad we came to this,
That right there was a powerful path for sure. Just you could hear it in your voice, the enthusiasm about it, the passion about it, bringing in another discussion and taking the high road. Discussing, a lot of chiefs will thump their chest and go, well, this is what we do, instead of, hey, good job.
Yeah.
I think that in itself, that tells us who you are and what you stand for. And I appreciate that for sure. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here and doing what I'm doing with you, is we have that same kind of kindred spirit of lifting people up and trying to get in the right direction, understanding that there is a limit. There is something hindering us from getting better. And a lot of times it's ego, telling people to suck it up. I know you're tired. When I was working, I was tired too. Mm-hmm. And I didn't go to sleep. I just stayed awake. Bullshit. You hid behind a freaking shed, blacked out, and good to go. And Farmer Joe knocked on your window in the morning. Hey, wake up. Yep. From stories that I've heard from elsewhere, of course. We hear it all. We hear it all for sure. The car-to-car talks, cruiser spooning, and such. We get it from all angles, but I really do. I think, great topic and something that we have to work on more. That is not just checking the box. Like your frustrations with wellness, you get upset about. I wouldn't say upset, frustrated, because people use wellness as an excuse. Yep. But that component of it, the sleep component of it, and looking at that and investigating that, that's a real issue that needs to be addressed. And I think you're doing a great job. There's other chiefs out there, other departments out there that are looking at it from a different angle and giving the officer permission to also, hey, this isn't the way, this is a way. I'm going to say that for a lot of things, because there are many different ways to do what we do. And it happens to be what works best for the individual, for the department, with the parameters that are set forth.
We shouldn't even have wellness because it should have been a thing from day one, right? That we needed to take care of our officers more. But okay, it is. How do you start thinking for the better of the officer and not, hey, that guy fucked up. We got to write him up.
Right.
Now, let's look at that and say, wait a minute, how can we fix this so that we don't have to write this guy up? It is not a normal schedule if you want to spend time with, let's not even say immediate family, but extended family. You got visitors, families coming from somewhere else, and you want to be with them because they all work the normal schedule. And now you have to adjust. You have to shift. There's got to be a way. It just isn't normal. It just isn't the way our bodies are supposed to operate.
It goes completely against our human nature and exactly that, how our biology works. I want to know who started the midnight shift. It was some industry that, I'm not going to say it probably wasn't law enforcement.
True. Yeah.
It was probably manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess. And that's something that we can, research on a separate note. But we could have split that 24 hours up differently to have the same coverage, but less impact on the individual.
Yeah.
Less negative impact on the individual. And then you're writing them up because they're going against everything their body is telling them not to do. Stay awake in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Well, this has been good, man. This is, I like this. I'd love to hear the people out there that might be doing some stuff and maybe even get them on. Maybe we've got it all wrong,
Right. Yeah.
So you want to close it out, man? Any last thoughts?
Great. Again, a lot of times we come into this and we're not quite sure. I'll be honest, we're not quite sure what we're going to talk about. We have an idea. We get talking, and I think we cover some pretty good ground. And I think those are the conversations that come naturally, that aren't planned out, that give us the best input and insight to it. So I really appreciate it. And again, let's go with, making the call out. Send us a DM, shoot us an email, get in touch with us. Tell us what your thoughts are. What are you doing?